Over 100 people gathered along the street in front of Jackson's Manpower Park on Saturday, April 12th for a rally for public education. There were teachers, members of the community, and more, all in attendance.
I'm here today to support public education through the rally that actually Dennis Reinhardt and I kind of threw together. It was just an idea that we had. We had a little protest for Representative Taylor when he was in town a few weeks ago. And I looked at Dennis and I said, hey, how about we do this again? And so we decided to do this to show the community that we need their support for public education as well. And, it's just been basically, wanting to get more information out to the community because there are a lot of people who have questions as to why we need the money for our district. And, and why we are talking about money that is supposed to be going to public schools going to private schools and how that works because we only have one private school in Jackson County. So why would the Jackson County public schools be losing a lot of money? So we're here basically just to educate and inform and ask for support today.
Several years ago, the state of Ohio, the Supreme Court of the state of Ohio ruled on multiple occasions that the way that the state of Ohio supports public education is unconstitutional. Two Ohio legislators, one Democrat, one Republican, came together with a group of superintendents and treasurers from throughout the state of Ohio to create what became known as the Fair School Funding Plan. That plan was to be phased in over a 6-year period, 3 different bienniums, and we're in year 5 and year 6 of that budget cycle. We're in the 3rd biennium. And now the state legislature is saying that they don't have the money to fund the plan. This despite the fact that they can somehow come up with $600 million for a football stadium, and they're also spending about $1 billion on vouchers for private and religious schools. There's enough money there to probably fund the Fair School Funding Plan if they took that $600 million and the $1 billion that's going towards vouchers, it would clearly fund that. The Ohio Constitution states that in Article 6, Section 2, that the General Assembly shall secure a system of funding for the common schools, and that religious sects or other sects have no part in the funding that comes from the schools. So we believe that this voucher system is entirely unconstitutional, and that's why there are so many school districts that are challenging that. It's all one line item in the budget for public schools, private schools, religious schools. So $1 for vouchers is $1 less for public education.
These budget cuts are devastating to our district, and unfortunately they put the most vulnerable, which are our children, they put them in the crosshairs. And education is the only key out for our children. And I have preached and preached for almost 30 years that that's my kids' key out. That's their way. And unfortunately, these legislators don't get that. They don't get that education is the way my kids, the only way some of them have to get out of poverty, and they're cutting it off. And I don't know what else to do but show up here and try to make them see that they're making it impossible for my kids to succeed. and I am fighting desperately for my children, and I am so frustrated at this point that I don't know what else to do. And after 30 years in a classroom, it is very, very frustrating for me. They have cut and cut and cut. And now with these vouchers, they're making it very, very hard for my most vulnerable students to get an education. And they have to put public schools in the forefront. And it's very sad because I feel like they're throwing my children away.
I guess here in Jackson County, we feel like the Ohio General Assembly should make good on the fair school funding promise. Instead, they're more concerned with funding stadiums for billionaires, and we feel like that leaves our kids behind.